Hey there, it's Tom Corson-Knowles, #1 best-selling author of Secrets of the Six-Figure Author. In this video, I want to show you how to save an enormous amount of time, energy, and effort when you use Microsoft Word by using the find and replace feature in Microsoft Word really effectively and really efficiently. So let me show you how this works. So the first thing you want to do when you use Microsoft Word is make sure that this home tab is enabled, because that's where a lot of the options to edit and format the manuscript are going to come from. So make sure you have this tab visible. If you don't, you can go to view and make sure you select the ribbon and whatever other options toolbars you want. So usually you use like the standard toolbar here, which is what this is. And then the find and replace feature is going to be up here. So one of the things I like to do is make sure you click list matches in sidebar, because then when you use the find and replace feature, you're going to see all the matches for what you're searching for. Another great tip you want to use is make sure you click this button up here, which says show all non-printing characters. And what it does, it shows the pilcrows, which are these symbols. And that's every time you hit enter or return, it's going to create a pilcrow. All right, so every time you hit enter or return, you're creating one of these symbols here, which is a pilcrow, which is an extra line space between paragraphs. And so when you show that, when you click this button up here, you can see those extra line spaces, those pilcrows. You can also see when there's extra spaces. So if you hit the space bar, you'll see those little tiny little dots there every time you hit the space bar. So what that just shows you is the non-printing characters. So it won't appear, you won't see those characters if you print the page, or if you send this file to CreateSpace or print your book and as a physical paperback book. But those characters still exist and they can still impact your formatting. So when we use find and replace, a couple things you want to do is make sure you look for pilcrows first of all. So that if you hit Shift 6 and then P, what it will do is it will find every single pilcrow in your manuscript. And so you'll see here, which is very common, is that we have 2 pilcrows after every paragraph, which is too much. It's more than you need. So it's not how a manuscript should be properly formatted. And so what you can do is every time you can just search for 2 pilcrows, which is again Shift 6 and then P symbol will find a pilcrow. So if you type that in twice, you'll find every time in your manuscript where there are 2 pilcrows in a row. And there's 832 times in this manuscript where there are 2 pilcrows which need to be removed. Okay, and so you can just replace those with 1 pilcrow. And again, this is going to replace 832 different matches throughout your entire manuscript, which is a ton. So if you want to do this manually, you could go and you could hit delete here and delete here and delete here. And 2 hours later, you would finally be done with your manuscript fixing these extra pilcrows. But you can just simply click find and then replace all. And the click of a button, it's gone ahead and removed 800 of those for you. And it says there's still 52 left. So if you want to replace those as well, you can do that. But in this case, I'm not going to do that because some of these places actually wanted the extra line spaces here. So that's just a great way to remove those extra paragraph spaces. The other thing you can do is search for space twice. Just click the space bar twice in this find box, and you'll find every time in your manuscript there's extra spaces. So here there's 7 extra spaces in this manuscript. There's even one here, which is clearly a typo, where there's 2 extra spaces here, which there doesn't have to be. And so, and we're just going to click spacebar to replace here. So we're going to look for 2 space bars anywhere that the spacebar has been hit twice. And we're going to replace that with 1 spacebar and click replace all. And that's gone ahead and fixed most of them. There's still a few more left here. And we're done now. And so we've now found and replaced all this extra space throughout your manuscript. Again, this is something that a lot of authors do. You hit the space bar a little bit too often on too many different places. So clicking find and replace to remove that can save you a ton of time. And then the other common one we have here is that there's a space before a pilcrow, right? And so it basically just creates this extra paragraph here, which we don't really want or need in the first place. So if you click space and then search for Shift 6P again, you can find everywhere in your manuscript where you have something like that. And you can go ahead and we can look where they exist through the rest of this manuscript, and then click replace all. And we've gone ahead and replaced those now. So find and replace is just the fastest, easiest way to fix a lot of these common typos and mistakes throughout your manuscript to make sure it's formatted properly and looking really professional. Now there's a few other things you can search for as well. It can probably save you a bunch of time. So one of these is Shift 6 and M. So if you type in Shift 6 and M and search find, you'll find all of the different page breaks throughout your manuscript. So if you've got extra page breaks, or if you want to check to where all your page breaks are, you can go ahead and search and find for all those page breaks with just Shift 6 and M. Now, another great feature you can use with Find and Replace is searching for all the section breaks. So if you hit Shift-6 and B, you'll see everywhere in your manuscript where there's a section break. And so for this particular manuscript, since it's an ebook, we actually don't want section breaks for this ebook. So we can go ahead and simply replace that with a Pilcrow instead. And go ahead and we'll find that and replace it. And there we go. And we've got an extra Pilcrow there anyways, so we're gonna go ahead and delete that. And we're good to go. So those are a few things you can do. There's other really cool things you can do with Find and Replace, like changing the formatting. So let's say you've got scene breaks in your manuscript, and usually folks will use like 3 or 4 or 5 star symbols or asterisks in order to denote like a break between a scene or a break between a section, or when the point of view changes in a novel, something like that. And so what you could do if you wanted to change how that's laid out, so for example here we've got a Pilcrow and then 4 asterisks and it's centered and then a Pilcrow, which is normally kind of how we would do it. But what you can do here is click this button right here and click Advanced Find and Replace. And then you're going to click this button right here to open up more options. And what you can do is you can actually match the case, you can use wildcards, you can do all kinds of really cool things with the Find and Replace feature. So for example, you could find anytime there's a certain paragraph type. So for example, let's say you want to find anytime it was centered, right? You could find any text that was centered right there. There's all kinds of really cool things you can do with this. So one of the things we can do with this advanced Find and Replace feature is we can actually change the formatting every time there's a scene break or every time we're searching for a certain thing throughout our manuscript. So for this case, we could, for example, we could change the paragraph type. So we could actually change the alignment to right alignment. We could change the indentation to 0.6 inches. We could change the line spacing after, or the line spacing to double spacing, and we click OK. And then simply click Replace, and you'll see there it's changed now the formatting for this part right here. So again, what that can do is it just helps you if you've got these common things like scene breaks, if you've got quotes, or you've got something in your manuscript where it's repeated throughout your manuscript and you want to change the formatting from that. Maybe you want to change it to a header, maybe you want to change it to center aligned or left aligned or justified or something like that. You want to change the font type, the font size. You can do that with Find and Replace really, really quickly, instead of going through your entire manuscript and searching for every single section where you're looking for that thing in your manuscript. So again, Find and Replace is going to save you so much time. I recommend you use this tool, play with it. Definitely check out the advanced Find and Replace features, because it can save you a massive amount of time and energy when you are working on a manuscript, when you're working with anything in Microsoft Word, even if it's just like a blog post, a long blog post. Using this Find and Replace feature can save you an enormous amount of time and energy. So I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, please go ahead and like it below. Post your comments if you have any questions about how to use Find and Replace on Microsoft Word or any other features of Microsoft Word. I'm more than happy to help you. And if you love this video, please share it with other writers, authors, folks you know who could benefit from this information. All right, again, it's Corson-Knowles wishing you an incredible day. Take care.